Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we've got a very special project and I'm excited and a little bit nervous about starting it because I'm not quite sure how to do it. Let me explain. So, a few weeks ago, the Sheffield Cats Shelter got in touch with me and they said, Emma, it's coming up to our 125th birthday and we're going to throw a party, and we were wondering if you'd like to do something pretty special to help us celebrate. Colour me intrigued. So they sent me an email and explained the kind of thing that they'd like me to do. Let me show you what they sent me. Hi Emma, thanks for your email address. I've attached the photo that I told you about. Do you see the big hedgehog head with a bucket in its mouth? Well, I thought we could do something similar for our Cat Shelter birthday event in September. I was kind of thinking if you were able to help, we could do a big Dave head with a bucket mouth and throw mice toys or fish toys in to win a prize. Call it Feed Our Dave or something. We could promote your book too. And this is the photo. So they're looking for something similar to this, but with a cat head, with our Dave's head, and a big hole in its mouth that they can throw balls and things in for prizes. So that's what we're going to do. So this is the bit of wood that I found specifically for the occasion. It comes up to my hip, which isn't very high because I'm not very tall. But this is what I was thinking we could use. My problem is, if I make the mouth hole as big as a bucket, the rest of the cat is going to be squashed. Do I do a bucket mouth and a distorted cat shape, or do I do a smaller mouth and not have a bucket with something else? I'm going to sketch out some ideas and then we can get going. So I've just been outside to find a bucket. Now the buckets are quite big, but what I was thinking was, how about a waste bin size? Now they're not having this because this is the only waste bin we've got upstairs, apart from these things. But then when I was in the garden, I found this. It's an old bin. Forgive the dirt, it has been out in the garden. I used to use it for putting weeds in when I was weeding. But they could have this if they wanted. I'll wash it. And I think that's big enough for a target, isn't it? So if that was on here, you could have a cat's face round here, body going down here, and maybe a title, Feed Our Dave, up there. I was going to cut around the profile of the cat, but rereading the email, they said that they did want it to be called Feed Our Dave, so this would be a good place to have the title. And it'd probably make it a bit more sturdy as well for them to store. So like if we cut around the profile of a cat where the ears came up, that corner would be a weak point and it might end up getting bashed. Whereas if it's like this, it might stand a better chance of being, staying usable for longer. So I think that's a good size for a target. It's not too ridiculous, is it? Not too ridiculous a size. So yeah, I think I'm going to use that as the mouth, and probably have to find a way to hook it behind because I want to cut out two little teeth. Mind you, Dave didn't have his teeth. So we'll see. We'll see. This is quite a good configuration. And I'll cut this in an arch at the top. Again, it'll just help protect it more. And then we can colour in the background, do the feed our Dave in some kind of colour, and then cut a hole here, leaving his tongue and his little teeth, and I think that will be a really good game. I really like the way that's turned out. It is just a pencil outline right now, and the material I'm going to use to put the colour on is a thing called a Posca pen. Not sponsored. I know that people who do similar things like murals and like window displays and like wall murals and things. I know someone who's done a whole wall mural in their home studio specifically with these, and I thought it would be a really good user-friendly way of drawing on it rather than getting paints out and having to be precise with a paintbrush, which isn't necessarily my forte. I mean, it used to be a bit more, but not so much anymore. So yeah, I got some black and white. In hindsight, I probably should have got thicker white because a lot of Dave is white. Black for the outline. I didn't know which pink to get for his nose, so I went with pink and coral, but it's going to be coral, I think. But we'll test them out together, see what they all look like together. And then I got a dark blue and a light blue in a chunky pen. The reason for this is because I was going to do something with Rolly as well, and if you've seen the illustrations I've done for my calendar, my cat calendar, Rolly and Dave do feature in there, and Dave is coloured in dark blue and Rolly is coloured in light blue. So I might still do something with Rolly. It's not going to be on this because there's no room, but I could maybe do his own. But I was also thinking, if this turns out well, I might do a display for my Our Dave books that I've got on market displays. So I've got some, you know, like the MDF stuff you get at the back of picture frames. Well, when they break, which, you know, they often do, sometimes do, you get left with just PDF, and I've got some of that hanging around. So I might make a little stand for the Our Dave books, so it makes it more obvious, like on my market stall display where they are. And I might do something Rolly related as well. But yeah, so let me test these pens out and show you what they look like. So this is the white. This is the black. This is the coral. I've already opened these and tested them, so I know the pens work. But the other three, so these ones, I haven't yet opened or primed them, so let's do that together. Start with the pink one. I'm going to shake it a lot. And the nib, when you first get it, is white. So as you press, the colour comes in. Ready? You see? Let's compare it to the other pink. Again, a lovely pink, but I don't think that's going to be the right colour for Dave's nose. So I'll stick with the coral. But that will come in handy for other projects. Another big one, just going to shake it. It's a big chunky nib, and again, we're just going to press it to let the colour come through. didn't know if I had to push it any further in. Then the lighter blue. It's coming through. Little update. So I'm not used to working with Posca pens. I kind of forgot that there were paint inside those. So I need to let that dry because I've smudged a little bit. And also I've got some of the pencil, oh God, a lot of the pencil on my hand. So I'm going to let that dry a little bit. The reason I'm not going to go, I was originally going to go all over in white and then put the details in, but it's an opaque paint, so I won't be able to see where I've put any of the pencil marks underneath. So I'm going to paint all of the sections, so the ears, the nose, the black chin dot, the black fur bits, and then the white bits around it. And then I'm going to do a black outline. I will need more than one layer of this paint because there's pencil marks underneath, and as it's wet, the graphite is smudging the colour. So once that layer's dry, just like with paints, I'll go over again. I quite like the way that I've done the wording. Let me turn you around. So you'll see that I actually measured out in a really rudimentary way where all the writing was going to be. So I got a pin and a piece of cardboard and a pen, and I traced around the arch so it was an actual equal arch rather than just me doing it by eye, which was a bit off. I've done the same inside to make a border so that the writing didn't go all the way up to the edge of the arch. And then I got a bit of cardboard. You've seen this, I know, but I measured out each the width of each letter. And the problem I have with handwriting letters is that I tend to be inconsistent. So my lettering seems to be all over the place, big, small, wobbly. You know, this looks like it's a bit further away than the other letters, but that's just because of the angles of the letters. They are actually all measured up. So even if I'd have typed that out and traced it, you know, printed it out and traced around it, it would be the same. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that, but just waiting for that layer to dry and we'll get on with colouring it in. I know that when I cut these out, these bits, this bit and the arch, it will probably splinter and I'll need to sand it. So I will need to touch up the paint around there. Hopefully it won't mess up the paint that I'm doing here, you know, that I'm going to do today. But if it does, I can just touch it up. So I'd rather get something down, so at least I feel like I made some progress and I've got something to show you, and then we can cut that together using a multi-tool and then get going. I like it. It reminds me of the old like coal miners' flags. Let me show you a picture. And that kind of thing. Nice. Right, I'm going to let that dry a bit and then carry on. So, bit of a change of plan. So I was using a smaller bullet bullet nib Posca pen, and I damaged the nib of that, so I turned that round and I tried to carry on as best as I could, but the coverage wasn't great. You could see all of the lines because it was such a thin nib. So I think next course of action is to check on the Hobbycraft website and see if they have any thick whites, because I did start to go, when I got these pens, I got them especially for the job, they were 2 in a pack, and I started to use the other Posca pen, but I didn't want to ruin that nib too. So yeah, either I'm going to, well, firstly I'm going to see if Hobbycraft, my local art store, has any of the thick nibbed ones, which are the PC8Ks in white, and if they don't, I'm going to get some normal white acrylic. I tried to finish off the bottom part in acrylic just to give it a bit of better coverage, but yeah, look, I've got nothing left in that. Nothing left. So either A, get a proper Posca pen in the right size, or B, just get some acrylic. I'm going to wash this brush and then go and have some dinner, because Andy is making risotto. So the next time you see me, it would be the morning. So it's 9 p.m. and my sister gave me a good idea. So I sent her a picture of Feed Our Dave and said, I need to get a thicker nibbed white pen. And she's like, try some gesso. And I had a big tub of gesso. And I was gonna gift it to a friend. I'll probably gift the rest of it to a friend because I'm not gonna use it. But it's white gesso. I don't know if you can get any other colour gesso, but anyway, white gesso. And I just came upstairs to put my pyjamas on and I thought I'm just gonna quickly see if it covers better. And it does. I'm probably still gonna go to Hobbycraft tomorrow. I'm not sponsored by Hobbycraft and there are probably much better art shops in the world, but I need to be down that area of town anyway, to get a spray sealant. So I'm thinking about getting some kind of waterproof sealant so that the cat shelter can use this and it's not going to damage, so it's longer lasting. And I think a spray sealant will be better because then the paints won't spread into each other. That's the theory anyway. I'm going to test it beforehand. Even if it doesn't work for this, a spray varnish will be good for like charcoal work that I do in the future. But I'm just going to carry on with this. So you'll see I've painted a little bit at the bottom. I thought I might as well show you me painting the gesso on the rest of it. And then I'll be able to obviously go over and make the rest of it kind of finer detail as well. And then I'm not wasting any more plastic on any more pens. Morning, pals. I woke up this morning with really bad vertigo, which makes me feel motion sick. So I've already vomited this morning, but we are on our way to go and get the fixative because it'd be nice to get everything that I need. And then I don't have to go back out again. So me and Andy are going to go out to Hobbycraft. Like I say, better craft stores are available near you, but that's just the one I know has my stuff. So we're going to go there. I might pop into IKEA and get a clothes rail for my next market because I want to sell a few more like samples of my T-mail store, but that's another video altogether. But yeah, let's go and see what we got. Where would you? I'm just talking to me. Deborah suggested using gesso instead. Aha! I don't know why I shouted that so loud. So that's that. Found it without a hitch. We were going to go to IKEA, but it's an expense that I don't really need. I was going to get a clothes rail for when I sell samples of my tea mill stuff, but I'm not sure if I sell enough samples to really justify spending money on a clothes rail, money that I don't really have at the moment. So I'll go and think about it. We can always change our mind. It's just there. There. But not now. Home. We're back. I've had lunch. Got the goods up here. I got changed. It's not another day, it's the same day. And my hair's not greasy, it's wet. I'm feeling much better from this morning. This morning I woke up with vertigo, and I think my body had just been living with, like, while I was asleep, I think my body had been living with like motion sickness feeling, and I just woke up, and even though I had nothing to throw up, oh, it's awful. But now I feel much better. I'm not even that dizzy anymore. So I'm going to get back to work. I don't need this until the very, very end. And that is just to... I've never used it before, but it's just to protect it. Stop talking, Emma. But I'm going to do one more layer of the white. The gesso worked really well. So when I've done one layer of the white, I'm going to leave that to dry. Let me turn around and show you. So yeah, I'm going to do one more layer of this gesso, whatever, over this white bit. And then I'm going to go over again in the blue and then the black outline, and then do the feed our Dave part. Rolly desperately wants to jump up on here. No, thank you. No. Good boy. Good boy. Right, let's get to it. So that's that done. That's the initial cutting out. Thanks to Andy for doing that. That was really kind. And now we're just going to file down the rough edges and touch up any bits with the pens, and then I'll varnish it. It's a lovely day today, so hopefully I'll get to do all of that in one day, get it done. So the day's getting on. It continues to be good weather, but I want to get this done sooner rather than later. Look at the state of my hair. So I've come in to get my varnish. I've also made a little test on a picture frame back, because I'm going to varnish this and just make sure that all the colours don't bleed. And assuming everything's well, let's varnish Feed Our Dave. So you've got to wait 2 minutes between each layer and do it in several thin layers. I am not filming all of it because the spray is going everywhere and I don't want to risk getting you covered in spray. So you're just going to have to take my word for it that it's working so far. So there it is. But what is a target game without things to throw at the target? So today I'm going to take this old top and make some fish. The cat shelter don't know that I'm doing this bit, so it's a nice little bonus for them. Let's go. Okay, so we've been doing a little bit of product testing. You might remember at the beginning of the video I said I was going to use this for the bucket behind Dave's mouth. We were going to drill out little holsters there for it to slide on top of a screw. But we were worried because the wood that our Dave is drawn on isn't that thick. If this is knocked in any way, it could bust the screw off and actually damage the wood. So we're scrapping that idea in favour of some black fabric stuck behind the mouth, and then that'll stop these fish when they're thrown, stop them going like through it and getting lost. So it'll go hit the fabric and go down, and maybe they could even have the bucket to go underneath to catch the fish. But product testing has worked, and now I'm just going to get on with cutting the fabric. Let's go! I think that's been a massive success. And while this wasn't a project that I was getting paid for, it's always nice to do something for the community. And the Sheffield Cats Shelter has been absolutely amazing to us, both with Dave and with Rolly. And that's not to mention the thousands and thousands of cats they're bound to have helped over the 125 years that they've been in existence. So thank you to the Sheffield Cats Shelter. If you would like to play our Dave, I'll pop details of the Sheffield Cats Shelter's birthday bash down below. I think it's on the 25th of September, but I'll pop something here, text-wise, to confirm that I'm right. And you too can go and feed our Dave. Thank you so much for joining me for the process of making this magnificent beast. If you did enjoy this week's video, please do like, and if you can, please subscribe, because it does help me beat the YouTube algorithm and helps me to reach more lovely people like you. But until next week, bye.